Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today, once again, to do Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, Chapter 228 review. Now, the thing here is that after reading the chapter, first of all, it's a very simple chapter. All it really is the main party just storming the Orthodox district area, and then we have them pretty much overcome the majority of the magicians there. Then they go into the area where Elder David and the elders are, and basically when they get there, Arba is supposedly already slaughtering all of them. And then after we have Elder David's body and like everyone else laid out, Arba has a few words to say to Solomon, and then all of a sudden something occurs where the bodies, they turn into like that Magi, like jar doll type thing. And so obviously that's where they stem from. That's where Althema got their shit, obviously. And then there is this clairvoyance magic being done in one of the room areas inside that area. And then they see Elder David and the other elders that have the divine staffs laying waste to their main camp. And so people want to leave and assist the main camp, but they can't, because right now they're in this box. They are in this barrier, this cube-like barrier, and they can't escape. And that's it. So one of the things I did like here is the fact that Elder David, it wasn't like straight up gung-ho, like let's just go forward, let's kill Elder David. No, it wasn't that simple. It wasn't that easy. Elder David actually had a plan of his own, and he had dolls pose as himself and the other elders, while he himself and these elders went for their main camp. And what I will say is that I'm surprised that Solomon and Ugo and the others didn't take that into account, where Elder David probably wouldn't just sit there on his ass and not do anything. He would just sit there and stay in the isolation barrier. No. He had a plan of his own. And the fact that they didn't have more protection when it came to the main camp. Like, for example, at the main camp, it should have been... Because now that we know that Arba was a part of the Vanguard, for Christ's sakes, Arba, who's like your third strongest or second... like your third strongest magician, you should have kept, like, Wahid and maybe even Ugo himself back at home base. But no, that didn't happen. So you only kept Seta there. And lo and behold, bites in the ass. So that surprised me in that sense. But again, I did like it in the sense that Elder David himself didn't just sit there like a final boss. Like, oh, you reached my tower, now let's duel. No, he wasn't. No, pretty much he pulled a hook and ladder. Okay, fine. So you're gonna come at me straight. I'm gonna go and curve and take you guys from above or below, and so on and so forth. Now, what I didn't like though is that pretty much they just stormed the area. Like, it's just like forward, and then they get the barrier up almost immediately after like the last chapter. So like there should have been more buildup. Like, that's one thing that I think is lacking in a lot of these events when it pertains to this arc of Almatoran. A lot of these events, they need more buildup. They really do. Like, we're just going bam, 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 go, go, go. And the impact of these moments isn't as great as it should be if it had buildup. So if we actually had like Solomon and the others compete with other magicians and take them out, or have to work their way up to a certain point, and that took like 3 or 4 chapters, and then they got to the main room, and then we see Arba already there slaughtering, that would have been a lot more hype, a lot more, that would have been a lot more impactful when it pertained to Arba's scene, and the fact that they were dolls. So again, the pacing, I think, is fast when it pertains to this chapter and a few chapters in the past that have these moments that are of great magnitude, but they could be a lot better if they had build-up. Now, when it actually pertains to the events in the chapter. Very important, obviously. Again, Elder David's there, and he's slaughtering with his boys, with his old school homies. And the thing here is that before we go to Solomon and his party, we have like this talk, this dialogue, this exposition pertaining to God and pertaining to protecting those who are fighting right now against the Orthodox Church. And this comes from the women and the elderly and the children and Seta himself within the main camp area. Now the thing here is that what's very ironic is that you have them praying to God, you have them praying to Elah, and we all know that Solomon is destined to kill Elah or destroy Elah or remove all the Magi from Elah, however you want to slice it. And what's also very prominent is knowing that at some point in the future, there is this mindset change when it comes to a lot of the characters, a lot of the main characters, a lot of Solomon's friends, when it pertains to Solomon himself. So initially, I thought that there was only one catalyst, one main catalyst, and that main catalyst was, simply put, Solomon killing God. But no. You see, if Seta and Phallon and Isnan's and Phallon and Wahid's child dies at the hands of Elder David, and then Solomon kills God, oh well, then there's a problem. Because, well, there's a problem in a lot of ways. Because not only is God the entity that is above and beyond what they perceive as normal, the creator of the world, the one who they entrust their lives to, not only is he gone, but what does that mean for the quote-unquote souls or the spirits of Isnan and Wahid and Phallon's child? Where do they go when they die now? So it's not just one catalyst, but it's a set of events that build up together simultaneously that lead to this drastic change in mindset pertaining to the characters. And again, when you go back into the initial start of this arc, when you see Solomon, when you see Sheba and Ugo and Arba, and they're older, and Solomon has become this, like this one true king, and he's cheering and he's like waving towards the crowd, this giant, massive crowd. You can see Isnan and Phallon and Wahid, and they're clearly in darkness. And Sheba it's so obvious. She's in. But the thing here is that when you look at that scene, you don't see Seta, and that's probably a key reason as to why you can say that Seta dies. Because right around, at that point in time, around Solomon, because I went back to check, you see his friends around him. You see Isnan, you see Phallon, you see Wahid, you see Sheba, you see Ugo, you see Arba. You don't see Seta. Why? Seta's died. So now I'm saying that Seta dies. And of course, that's going to hit Isnan really heavy. Obviously. And then, when you have Phallon and Wahid's child died, it's going to hit them very heavy. Which is why you saw those three in the party. Those three were in a group. Like, as if they were separate from the rest of the damn pack. And also, there's something I want to mention as well. Before I end the video off. Before I wrap it up. Arba says something to Solomon. And Solomon was confused at first. Like, it was like ... question mark, and then I'd see. Like, something along the lines of, like, I was born for this very moment, or something like that. Or, like, Arba says something along those lines. And I don't know what he was confused about, Solomon. But if you go back to one of the first chapters of the Almatoran arc, when you see Ugo and he's holding Arba Arma seems very timid. It throws me off, but Arba seems very timid, very shy and bashful. And when you see her in the recent chapters, far from. Oh, so far from. In fact, in this chapter, she cuts off the head of the fake Elder David, and she's staring at his brain matter like farewell. I'm like, whoa, like she's way up here. She's way up here. So, like she belongs in Berserk. Like, holy shit, like, damn. So, the thing here is that where that goes, I'm not too sure. But overall, this chapter, it's set up for a lot of parts later on that are going to be very monumental for the change in the character mindset, as well as winds up being for all of humanity and the species that comprise the planet. Because, you know, at some point in comes Il-Ila, fucking touches the damn planet, and all of a sudden, and it becomes black. So maybe it's a way for Isnan, Falan, Wahid, Sheba to make amends for, or I should say to, Il-Ila, because he is their god, and they want to appease their god. And the arrogance, they always talk about it. I mean, at least Rengyokuen, aka Sheba, does. She always talks about the arrogance of Lord Solomon. And in order to appease their god, they must remove, or they must get rid of the arrogance of Lord Solomon. So, I mean, so then the question becomes, alright, so are they villains or are they antagonists? And then, so we get more deeper into that aspect later on. But I'm done. So now we're learning a few things here and there, and they're very important. And it's mainly, I think, that from what I'm seeing right now, it's mainly set up for these major events that are going to take place real soon. So I'm done. King Lightning. Overall chapter, I thought it was a good chapter, and I will see you guys later. Rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace, and have a nice day.